with DJ Big DJ, not the little one, okay? The hottest tag. DJ, make sure y'all say
Look at 38.
Yo, DJ, what are you doing?
Lotto, I see you.
As I finish
Vendetta,
up.
Mato. Y'all make sure y'all fave up DJ Rich Beats. Hello? The best DJ on the app. Yes! Rich Beats, you're a vibe. Thank you. Y'all make sure y'all fave up the hottest DJ on tag. DJ Rich Beats, period. The only DJ I'm rocking with and the official DJ of the Scoutz. Stop playing.
That part, y'all.
Thank you, Rich Beats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all, I'm so excited for How to Bag a Baddie tonight. Yay! Look at Champagne Pretty. I see you. Thank you for the fave. All right, y'all. I am so excited to get started tonight. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. If you have not been here before, welcome. If you have, welcome back to How to Bag a Baddie, the only show on tag that explores both dating and being a modern day woman. I am your host, ELLE The Druggg, and tonight we are broadcasting episode 11. Y'all, episode 11 of How to Bag a Baddie. I can't even believe it. This has flown by, right? Clearly. This is a weekly show we do every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we have a podcast style conversation about different relationship topics. I see y'all go crazy, go crazy. We have these conversations to bridge the gap in communication in relationships, as well as encourage the best relationships with ourselves. And How to Bag a Baddie is brought to you by the Scoutz. Everybody that has that green and yellow shield in their name, that's Team Scoutz, that's the family, and that's who makes this all possible. Hello, I see y'all lighting me up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So before we get started, I do have a few announcements and a few things that I want to go over with y'all. So, obviously, I just gave the Scoutz a big shout out. I love them. They are my family, and that's where I be at. So, obviously, I'm going to talk about the content that we produce as a family every single Monday. You can check us, in Casper's Live for Geek Out. It's a featured show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Monday. It's a dope show. I encourage you all to tap in because it's lit. And this Monday, something extra special is going on after. So, stay tuned. Every Tuesday, obviously, you're here with me for How to Bag a Baddie. I see y'all going crazy in the comments. Thank you, thank you. Purple Brain prints it out. Hello. Every single Tuesday, here with me, How to Bag a Baddie, right? And then every Wednesday, we have Adult Talk with Top Badge Most Sexy for Top Badge at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Thursdays, we do Terra Thursday at 9 a.m. with Madame Mulatto, who is my girl. Make sure y'all fave her up, okay? And tap in with her for her content. And then, of course, on Sundays, we have karaoke with Top Badge 2 cents. 2 cents for Top Badge at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're on the app and you're not at karaoke on Sundays at 9 p.m., what are you doing? What are you doing? Shout out to Susie for taking that 10.4. I see you, Susie. You are out here getting it. I see you, Casper. I see y'all out here getting it, and I appreciate you. Hello? Getting me lit up so that we can trend. All right, so that's the weekly content that we provide from the Scoutz. Now, we do have a few special events coming up. June 17th, this Saturday, you can catch my fellow Scout Tatum in TT Mama's support event. Make sure you slide through. It's Saturday night. On June 19th, which is this coming Monday, and Juneteenth, hello. You can catch, obviously, us at Geek Out at the 8 o'clock hour Eastern Time. And then we're going right to Madame Mulatto's Live at 10 p.m. Eastern for Wine Down Wednesday presents Wine Down Juneteenth. So we will be celebrating over in Madame Mulatto's Live, and she and Rich Beats have curated an impeccable event. So don't miss it. Make sure you fave them up. And then on June 20th, we have the Tagged Awards in Rello's Live, and we are gunning for that most underrated spot for Top Badge 2 cents for Top Badge, as well as the best spow for Most Sexy. So make sure that y'all get those votes into Rello, and make sure y'all vote Team Scoutz. You already know what it is, okay? Cass, I'm gonna have you request the box really quickly. And for those of you who are interested in being Wait, can I talk? Hold on a second. For those of you that are interested in being on How to Bag a Baddie, just hit me up on Instagram. Everything is linked in my profile. I'm happy to get you on the show. We are booked up through August. I'm booking the second week in August now. So if that's something that you're interested in, please let me know on Instagram. And I wanted to take a second here. Look at Casper. Hi, Casper. How you doing?
Yo, what's goody? What's goody?
You have no clue why you're here, right?
I don't have any clue why I'm here, but I'm here. You feel me? I'm here.
You're here.
Everybody, hello.
That's why we love you, because you show up regardless. You don't know what shenanigans you're about to walk into. All right, no, actually, as I said earlier, y'all, last week was my 10th episode of How to Bag a Baddie. It was a big deal. I didn't realize that I'd been doing it for 10 episodes, but I wanted to take the time to publicly thank you, Casper, for my 10 milli during my 10th episode of How to Bag a Baddie. And of course, all the behind the scenes work that you put in that people don't really know about, but I appreciate you. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you snatching my 10 milli.
Well, it's no problem. That's what we're here to do. We're here to turn you up. We're getting the show featured. So, I'm doing my job. Doing my job. That's all.
Thank you. Do you want to walk us through those last few seconds of deciding when to throw the dragon?
Yes, I saw that a good friend of mine, Champagne Poppy, was coming in hot. He was coming in hot. He was coming in real hot. I had to make a haste decision. I also saw Poppy Blue in the back. Vendetta was coming. I was getting nervous. I was like, I don't know. I can't wait no more. I got to go right now. And I had to pull the trigger because I didn't want nobody else to take it. You feel me? It was getting too close. Champagne was coming in hot. Poppy was loading up. I was like, let me just go right now because I'm already ready to go. And I hit that thing one time for the one time.
Well, I appreciate you. It was poetic justice, if you will, that I got it during my 10th episode of How to Bag a Baddie. So I just wanted to thank you. I was overwhelmed last week. There was a lot going on. I couldn't quite grasp everything. But thank you. I appreciate you and your support. And, of course, big love to the Scouts. Always my family. I love y'all so much. Thank you, Casper.
Always. Thank you. Y'all, let's have a good show now. Let's keep going.
Period. All right, shout out to Casper, period. All right, y'all. So, if you're just tuning in, welcome to How to Bag a Baddie, a weekly show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the only show on Tag that explores both dating and being a modern day woman. Hello, I am your hostess, ELLE The Druggg, and this show is brought to you by the Scoutz, y'all. Tonight is a fun night. Did I see my co-host come in yet? Where my co-host at? Hello, where he at? Tonight is a fun night though, y'all. We have a pretty good topic for you tonight. So tonight we are talking about serial dating. Hello? So if you aren't familiar with serial dating, how it works, what it is, like this is the time of the show where I'm going to explain to you what we're talking, like the definition and all that stuff, right? And then we're going to start the conversation with my co-host, okay? Did we see 65 Mirror in here? Can we make sure that he's in here? Okay, so the definition of a serial dater is someone who dates many people in a short amount of time because they love the feeling of the chase. Basically, these people fall in love with love. It's almost like a high, and they chase this high often. Okay? So according to Google, okay? That was the Google definition. Now, these days, a lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people starting to explore it a little bit more, starting to understand maybe some of the benefits of it. So tonight, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about some of the pros and cons of serial dating. From this definition that I read, serial dating sounds like it should be frowned upon. But is there an upside to serial dating? A lot of modern day hopefuls are clinging to the dating trend to weed out the no-goes and find their forevers. Hello? Tonight, we will talk about serial dating and all the reasons we should or shouldn't do it as we unpack tonight's topic, which is what are the pros and cons of serial dating. So it looks like, is my co-host, where's Mirrors? We know, no one knows. Okay. So as we wait for, let's talk about it, right, Aquarian? As we wait for the co-host to pop in, I appreciate you, Puddin'. As we wait for the co-host to hop in, let's talk a little bit about it, right? So serial dating is one of those things that I'm hearing a lot of the trending thing about it. I love the trending thing about it is that, you know, for people who are on the go, for people who are busy moving and grooving and doing things, they need to be able to kind of date with purpose, right? And not everybody is out to do that. So a lot of people have taken on the role of serial dating to, you know, I guess hurry the process along, push the process along, which I completely understand. But at the same time, there are certain ramifications of that, right? Because with every equal and opposite, or excuse me, with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So obviously, with the good, there comes some bad. And yeah, so this is awkward. I never had somebody not show up before. I'm not gonna lie because I don't know what to do. I'm not gonna lie, but okay. But so I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about what I'm gonna go over some of the questions with you, right? And we'll go over a little bit of like what I think about it, some of my takes on it, and some of the things, like some of the questions that I would ask my host. You know what I'm saying? And all right, and then we'll bring the panel up a little early, and we also have a fun exercise to do. So we're gonna keep pushing. You're right. It is what it is. Okay, so do you serial date? So for me, serial dating is a thing where like I see the pros and cons of it, but I don't know if me personally I'm you know, good in, like I'm not like y'all. I have certain habits, right? And I have a lot of stuff going on. So there's a lot of stuff to remember when you're dating multiple people. And I just don't have that to do. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask a question. Is the Baddie panel here now? Because maybe we can flip the segments and we can do that now. We can kind of have that open discussion now and give a couple of minutes for Amir to show up. Y'all cool with that? Y'all cool with that? I can be ready now. Yay, Lotto, I appreciate you. What about, where's Susie? Is Susie in here? Susie, can you be ready? You want to pop in? Let's go, ladies, right? Come on now. Even the DJ. I know, right? All the people in the, look, I love y'all so much. We're going to make this work. Okay. So as we give the we're going to go ahead and switch out the segments, right? And as we give the panel a couple minutes to come up, we can talk about, so here's what I want to know. Do y'all know the signs, right? There are certain signs that you can kind of tell when someone is a serial dater and when they're not. There are certain things or things that they'll do or not do, right? There are ways that they'll communicate, and there are certain, like, it's very kind of a sticky situation almost, it feels like. So I wanted to go over some of those. There are like seven or eight tells that you can use to determine like if you're talking to a serial dater or not. And so I want y'all to think about that, because later on in the show, I have an activity where we're going to list them so that you can kind of see if that's like, that's why that person was acting like that, or, oh, that's what's going on. Lotto, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I don't have a baddie. I don't have a face on, but...
No, you're always bad. Look, see, you're always bad. We love it. We love a natural baddie. So listen, because whenever I sent this in the group chat earlier, you were very much like, this is going to be fun. I'm very excited. Let me get started. Let's talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some of the questions that I had listed here from Beer. And I want your, I want your intake, because first of all, I want you, are you going to tell us a little bit about your perspective on it first so that we kind of have an idea of what direction you're going in?
Okay, so for me, I'm a strong believer in serial dating because I feel like the opposite is serial monogamy. And I'm not a fan of somebody who can't be alone. And I feel like I come across people a lot of times that will rush into relationships because they're afraid to be alone. So I feel like if you're a serial dater, then you really, don't have to worry about feeling alone or, committing your whole being to one person when you're not even really sure about it just because you have feelings of loneliness.
Okay, so do you think it's more beneficial or harmful?
I think it's beneficial to serial date because I don't think you should let your boyfriend get in the way of your husband.
We like that. We like that. Okay, bet. So, let me go into some of these questions here. I have them pulled up. So, I kind of already. So, do you find yourself serial dating a lot?
I would consider myself a heavy serial dater because, for one, the longest relationship I've been in, I'm only 25, granted, but the longest relationship I've ever been in was 2 years, and it was with my baby dad, and we was engaged and all that. And since then, that was like 6 years ago now, so I've been single a long time, and like I've dated people, but I feel like it never really gets to that serious, crucial, like we are a couple. And so in that way, I feel like I serial date because I just be testing the waters and it usually doesn't go anywhere.
So, like, hold on to that because I think that's interesting. The end, you said the feelings don't escalate, right? Something like that. Hold on to that because I want to come back to that. Excuse me. Susie, hi. Welcome.
Hi.
Since you both are here now, we started talking a little bit about serial dating, but since you both are here now, I definitely want to give you both the opportunity to introduce yourselves, talk about what you got going on. I know y'all working on some content, so go ahead and tell everybody what you've got going on, and then Susie, I'll ask you some of the questions that I asked Lotto already.
Hey y'all, I'm Susie B. I'm with the Scoutz. Anywhere you see that green and yellow symbol, just make sure you hit the gang with the fave, okay, La Familia. Shout out to Mo Sexy for top badge, 2 for top badge, Madam Mulatto for top badge, and make sure you hit me with the fave, okay? I don't usually advertise for faves, but I am accepting new faves. If you are a gamer, okay, Xbox, PlayStation, crossplay, and you on Madden, you on 2K, come and see me because we got some content that you might just be interested in, okay? So y'all be sure to check in with the Scouts. Keep close to us. Join the winning team. Oh, let's go.
Let's go, let's go.
Okay.
What you got going on, Lotto?
Oh yeah, y'all already know. I'm Madam Mulatto. I'm here on Tuesdays. I'm with Casper on Mondays for Geeked Out. Thursdays, that's my show. Tarot Thursdays, 9 a.m. Eastern. But I don't know what I was about to say, but it's going to be so bad and so wrong. 9 a.m. Eastern. And then on Monday, which is Juneteenth, me and DJ Rich Beats have a very special event. We do Wind Down Wednesday. This month, it's Wind Down Juneteenth. Okay, we're going to get very blackity black. We're going to bring you the reggae, the dance hall, the Afro beats. We're also going to bring you, all of the black greats. And we have some special performers coming through. We got Nikki 24/7 on the poetry, Fame Star, Bake, and Mr. Official with some performances. It's going to be very blackity black, and I hope y'all all come.
I'm so excited for that, y'all. Make sure y'all pull up for that. It's going to be a whole vibe.
There's going to be a whole vibe in there. So black. Don't worry.
I'm so excited. I better have your dashikis, okay?
Listen. Okay.
I
I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. So for those of you just tuning in, you have stumbled into the only show on Tag that explores both dating and being a modern day woman, H2BAB Baddie, and I am here with the Baddie panel. And we are talking about serial dating tonight. We're talking about the pros and cons of serial dating, actually. So what I think we're going to do to kind of guide this conversation, because it's a little bit of a flip-flop, we're having to adjust a little bit, but that's okay. I think we can talk about the question of the week, which is what are the pros and cons of serial dating, and that can kind of lead us into some of the other questions that I have prepared for an open discussion. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So Susie, before you graced us with your presence, Lotto kind of told us a little bit about serial dating and how she feels about it. She expressed that she is an avid serial dater, and I love that for her. So I definitely want your first thoughts about serial dating. Would you do it? Do you do it? How do you feel about it? Let me know.
For that, I'm definitely an outsider looking in. Honestly, not much of a dater. But I expected that experience probably is a learning curve in a way. I would totally be for that in a pro sense. I could see how serial dating opens you up to new people, new ideas, new cultures. It also tests your boundaries. It's a really good trigger tester too. You can't really know if it's a trigger or not unless you're being tested on that, and dating is kind of a way to figure that out or get your pet peeves. I guess in a con type of way, it could formulate some issues with commitment, some issues with trust, some issues with overall understanding and communication in that way. But I don't, honestly, I guess the biggest crowd I would root serial dating for are moms, like, or well, I should say parents, like single parents. Because I feel like there is no document or background search that you could technically do on somebody before to figure out they're safe to bring around your kids. So I feel like serial dating is kind of the way parents figure that out without being weird. So totally support that.
Okay. A lot of shaking her head, like, well, and you're a mom. You're doing your thing. You have your baby. So, do you find that to be like it easier because you're a parent, or do you find it to be like that's just your preference?
Well, I feel like it is easier because I'm a parent because for one, like let's say I was a serial monogamous and I had a new boyfriend every 6 months. That would be me introducing a new man to my child every 6 months.
Right.
And even though they were serious relationships, if they weren't long lasting, then it kind of defeats the purpose of introducing people into her life that are going to not be there.
Right.
So in a way, I feel like serial dating is for me like it's testing the waters because a lot of people aren't going to make it past date 2 or 3. A lot of people are not going to, that's why I recently stopped kind of even trying to date people without kids just because they don't understand what it's like to be a parent, how my attention and focus could be, somewhere else, or how it's important that she likes them when we do get to a serious point, and if she doesn't like them, then I will absolutely cut things off. Like,
yeah. That's interesting. I never thought about it from, I'm not a parent, so I never thought about it from that perspective. But when I think about moms and I think about modern day women and I think about like always being on the go, always having, something to do, someone to take care of, something that you need to handle, I definitely see how those similarities line up and everything. So that's interesting though. I'm forced to ask based on that answer. So would you date someone who's a serial dater since that kind of, especially as a mom?
I feel like I would date somebody that's a serial dater because at this stage of my life, like I'm only 25, but I'm grown. I have a grown kid, I pay bills and all that things. And I would be like, personally right now, I'm not really interested in anything if it's not going to go, like, if we're not looking into the future towards marriage and combining households and all of that. So I feel like dating another serial dater, especially if that serial dater is also a single parent, it would be great because then you've had enough time, you've dated enough people to know what you like, what you don't like, how to act in a relationship, how not to act in a relationship, the triggers that trigger you, the triggers that trigger other people. All those things are learned through experience and not necessarily through being in one single relationship. And then me personally, I'd rather date a serial dater than somebody that got out of like a long relationship just because personal feelings, I'm gonna be feeling like maybe you still love them or something like that. Time length, it has a lot to do on people's brains, their mental, for real.
I agree. What do you want to say, Susie? It looked like you were going to add something. If not, I have a question for you.
No, I think a lot of pretty covered it because I'm not a mom, but I do support that perspective of serial dating for single mothers or fathers.
So you said, you said the reason the only group of people that you actually see it benefiting is single moms, right? Or a single parent or a mom.
Yeah.
What made you say that though? That's just interesting as a non-parent. What made you?
Just because, like I said, I feel like for safety reasons, for security reasons, single parents should be serial daters. They should, find out what type of person they like overall and then hone in on that and fine tune that so that when they do come across that energy, they know within themselves and sure, okay, this is a person I know I'm comfortable with. They're showing signs that I can be safe with them before introducing them to my children. It also brings up Comfortable conversations. You already have kids. I have kids. We can talk about that without you judging me or trying to be in my business over past decisions. Versus single people, it may not work out like that. That can single people practicing serial dating repetitiously could fall into ego and pride and could greatly affect a person's character and how they carry themselves. It could even offer a sense of entitlement, like because I'm a serial dater, I'm 9 times out of 10 more likely to get the person I want because I know I'm not going to be there long. So I'm going to position myself in a way that makes me glitter as gold because I know subconsciously I'm going to leave their ass in 6 months. Ultimately that's the thing, because this is how I'm choosing to date right now. Like, I'm going to date you 6 months, then I'll drop you and I'll go find somebody else. Or the first time you do something that I don't like, I'm going to drop you and find somebody else. I feel like that could kind of get you set in a pattern or a habit, because it only takes 7 days to make those, So I feel like that could be a negative, far more of a negative on single individuals operating in serial dating versus single parents. Just
That's a good answer. I agree. One of the things that I wrote down as one of the cons for me was a lack of intimacy, like a lack of emotional connection. And as someone who like craves emotional connection, especially because I feel like I'm an empath, right? So I emote regularly and often. So I enjoy whenever I'm able to get that feedback or that like emotional stability. And a lot of times whenever you're dealing with a serial dater, it's a little bit more challenging to connect with them emotionally. So I definitely understand what you're saying as far as the like, it can be like a commitment thing. I think that's another piece of it, but I think they kind of work together too, if that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So let me ask you this.
Okay, but for me, like a con of that con is like, especially like, I guess I will say more so in a woman's position versus a man's position, just because us as women, we, especially black women, battle insecurities every day and all that. I really think that serial dating could be a way to protect yourself, because you know over here trying to give your all to this one person that you don't necessarily just know everything about yet, and that could end badly for you if you're not protected. But it's like when you go into it in a serial dating mindset of like, okay, well, it either works or it doesn't. And I don't have to die just because it didn't work, because I'm going out with Steve next week. So
Right. What's the Casper always say? Girls are like buses miss one, next 15 one something like that. I don't know. I can't remember the exact lyrics.
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay. So Susie, I want to ask you this question. It says a lot of people don't realize they are indeed serial daters. In fact, most of us have dated or talked to more than one person at a time. So when you find yourself in this situation, do you disclose this information or let it be?
More recently, I've just kind of like started to say that, hey, I'm talking to more than one person. Like, I'm not exclusively dating anybody, but I'm for sure talking to more than one person. Just so that's out there. So I believe like how I am now, this version of woman I am is going to require that. Before, like, you don't got to tell me your business in depth, but I do need to know if your attention is elsewhere. So that way I know how to structure and how to play my cards. I'm not going, it's chess, not checkers. So, and I kind of still, I feel like to me, I be playing, two can play that game in my head all the time. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to make him or them give up before I have to. Sometimes it don't work out. Sometimes I got to play my hand and put myself out there. It don't work that way. But like I said, woman I am now, yeah, that's definitely needs to be something that's communicated up front. If you're a serial dater, you don't have to use those terms, but like, hey, I'm talking to more than one person, or my attention is elsewhere. I'm trying to test my options, see what, let it be known, because communication is just best overall. Ultimately, we keep coming back to that one thing, like communication, and transparency. So the more upfront you can be with that, especially when you're dealing with a baddie, a woman of stature who has standards and morals and values, you need to be able to communicate that sooner rather than later. It's just going to be more beneficial for you in that way. So that's my view on that.
I love that. I love that. For those of y'all who are just tuning in, you are now at How to Bag a Baddie, the only show on Tag that explores both dating and being modern day women. I am here. My name, is ELLE The Druggg, and this show is brought to you by the Scoutz. And I am here with the illustrious Baddie panel, the sheroes of the night, Madam Mulatto and Susie B. And we're here talking about serial dating. We're talking about the pros and cons of serial dating. And we've just kind of uncovered that, obviously there's pros and cons, but understanding those pros and how they work differently for different lifestyles versus how those cons can negatively affect as well for different lifestyles. So super interesting conversation so far, ladies. I want to take a break. What if I have you boxed down for a couple of minutes and we do the activity, and then I bring y'all back up and we can finish talking? How's that sound? Okay, cool. All right, y'all. So let's do a little activity. So we're going to talk about the 7 tells, okay? The 7 tells that you can use to determine if you're dating a serial dater, okay? So first of all, it's funny because the Baddie panel, this is why I love them. They're so perceptive. Susie had mentioned already, that could lead to some commitment issues, blah, 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 blah. But there are definitely 7 or 8 major tells. There's 7 major ones and 8, an 8th honorable mention. But what do y'all think they are? You know what I mean? Don't give away the keys, sis. All right. We'll keep it, you know what I'm saying, we'll take it on the border, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, what do you think they are? Let me see. Hotline blinging. The phone constantly ringing. Your phone constantly going off. See, that's not even... See, look, Lottie, you might not want to guess because, child, that wasn't even on the list. Child, that wasn't even on the list. So what I have is confusing and messy details, right? Like, maybe they won't tell you, like, oh, we can meet next week, but there's not, like, a specific time or a specific day, or there's not, like, a real concrete plan in place. You know what I mean? It's very like murky, very messy, very just kind of up in the air, confusing, if you will, right? And one of the things, look, and I'll also say this is me as a woman talking about it. I think that it works differently depending on, you know what I mean, from what group you're coming from, right? For me, I was always taught that a man that leaves you confused, he doesn't want you. If you're not confused, then that man wants you. So that's kind of one of the tell-alls. I saw earlier 2 cents said being vague. Yes, absolutely. That goes into that confusing, messy details. 2 cents for top badge, 2 cents period. So one of the other tell-alls, right, is a history of short relationships, right? So if you have someone constantly like, okay, so you're like, how long was your longest relationship? And they keep, 6 months, 3 months, a couple of months, or, 1 year type thing. Like, those short relationships kind of indicate commitment issues, right? Or not really being able to stay into it for the long haul because of that thrill of the chase type of thing. You get what I'm saying? So one of the other tell-alls is more casual dates, right? If you're dating someone and they want to go to things that like don't involve their family and like don't involve anything fancy or a big event or anything like that, right? Like we're going to smoke hookah and we're going to have dinner and we're going to like, that's what a serial dater is. People dating without purpose, 2 cents said. Ooh, 2 cents. That's an interesting perspective. I might ask you to hold on. If you're around and able, I might ask you to box up. That's an interesting perspective. So one of the other things is being really active on dating apps. I dated a man who never wanted to go in public within a 25-mile radius. Yes, he was hiding something, okay? He was hiding something, and he was not trying to tell you he was married. Yep, that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. Excuse me. Okay, so they're very active on dating apps is another one. Super active on dating apps. And then another one is they're quick to get physical, right? Usually, you know, it's like, okay, this is part of the thrill. This is part of that chase. This is part of the, you know what I'm saying? So quicker to get touchy or physical. And the last one is I'm sorry. Well, this one is kind of goes into what Lotto was saying about the hotline blinging, right? They always text and they rarely want to talk on the phone. So like the whole talking on the phone thing, get it out of here. Like we're very much into texting, quick communication, nothing too crazy, nothing too committed, right? Okay, and then the honorable mention is they don't open up, or it's more difficult for them to open up. It's a lack of emotional connection. Okay. It's not man bashing. Women do it too. Absolutely. So this is not just like for men, like women absolutely serial date women because girls is players too. Keep it player, baby. Okay. That's absolutely a thing. So this isn't a one-off. This isn't just for the, you know what I'm saying? Keep it player. Hello? So that's what we don't, what do they say? Don't hate the player, hate the game. So period. All right, y'all. I'm going to have the Baddie panel go ahead and request the box again, and we'll go ahead and bring them up for the second part of the show. If you are just tuning in, welcome to How to Bag a Baddie, a weekly show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the only show on Tag that explores both dating and being a modern-day woman. I am your hostess, ELLE The Druggg, and this show is brought to you by the Scoutz. Shout out to the Scoutz. So now we're going to go ahead and bring up the Baddie panel. Again, we're getting back to our original order now. Period. We bike. All right. And so we kind of talked about the pros and cons of serial dating, just like that's kind of been the open conversation that we started. But earlier I asked, excuse me. I asked Lotto about if she would date a serial dater, right? And if that's something that like, okay, is that going to be easier or better for you? And Lotto, you said that it would be, you feel like it would work out well because they're dating, you're dating, y'all know the deal, y'all have a little bit of time, like it's going to work out because basically the lifestyle is similar enough that it works out for both of y'all.
I also feel like if that communication comes into play, like she was saying, where we're open and honest with each other, like it takes a real man and a real woman to look at each other and they both be like, I'm a hoe. So
I'm weak.
what you want to do? Like,
so are you two?
Let's be realistic here. A lot of these men won't admit it. A lot of these women won't admit it, but it would be a lot easier for you to just straight up be like, yo, I like you, but I like her too. Or, yo, I like you and I cut off everybody else and now I just want to talk to you. No, dating doesn't make you a hoe, but if you are a serial dater, a lot of people, especially as a female, will call you one. So...
Casper, you're welcome to box up if you'd like to, or one of the trusted reds in my live. If one of the guys want to box up, you're welcome to. Okay, so that actually leads to my next question. How soon are you going to ask your interester, I don't know, the person you're talking to stop dating others and just focus on you whenever you like them? Like whenever you're like, okay, Are you willing to do that? Or are you just going to cut your people off? Like,
nah, I ain't gonna cut nobody off if you're not cutting nobody off. No.
So how does that conversation go, and when does it happen? Like how quickly?
When I decide I like you enough. If I'm really sweet on you and I want to be with you, I'm finna hit you with that. What are we? And if you tell me nothing, then that's fine. We can continue to be that because I liked you before we was nothing. Clearly we was nothing anyways. But if I say what are we and you is with it, then we cutting everybody off. We talk to each other. We go together. Real bad.
Real bad. She cracked me up. Susie, what about you? Like, if you know that you're talking to a serial dater, like, and you start to like them, like, how long would it take you to be like, I'm gonna need you to cut that off?
I'm not.
Okay.
Because at that point I'm gonna fall back. You feel me? I am a conscious adult and I move with intent. If I willingly walked into a relationship with a serial dater, it would be irresponsible of me to think we going any further than serial dating. It would be irresponsible for me to allow my emotional self to even get caught up with this nigga, thinking that, or this man or this woman, thinking that we finna be more than serial dating, because that's not what's finna happen. What's finna happen is they gonna gas me, tell me what they feel like I want to hear, and ghost me anyways. So I'm not gonna do that. At that point, if we have the conversation and you're like, nah, I'm gonna keep pretty much doing what I'm doing, I'm not cutting nobody off, then we stepping out of feminine and into masculine, okay? So now it's to the point of FWB. And you don't know that, but that's how we operating. So all that emotional and cute stuff, that's gonna stop. If we smashing, I'm getting dressed before you so that you know to get out. You know, things gonna switch up and change. Like, I just feel like at this point, at a certain point, communication no longer does it, and you have to allow action to speak for you, you know? And then that's gonna dawn on you. Karma's gonna bring it up to you like, wow, you really let a good one go. Yeah, because you're a dummy. Like, you know, and then it'll come back to, I miss you, I'm sorry I did you wrong, accept me back, like it's been before, you know, but that can't be on me. So I'm not finna do that. I'm not gonna ask no serial dater like, hey, you gonna be nah. I would come to them like
give up the whole life for me.
You know, you got a girlfriend, well, you do now. And if they don't go for that, then it is what it is. So.
Okay. I like that answer though. I'm not gonna lie, because that is something that like I would do. I wouldn't necessarily like maybe not all of those steps, right? But I would certainly fall back. I would certainly be like, you got me fucked up. Like, if you think I'm competing for anything, because then it turns into like, starts to feel like a competition. It starts to feel like your attention's not here. So why are you bothering me?
Exactly. At that point, to me, you're giving womanizer, Timothy, just to address you. Yes, I will wholeheartedly step into masculine if I see that operating out of feminine is not progressing me the way that I feel it should be. If me being a woman and doing this emotional and giving you what you need as a man is still keeping me with a serial dater, then I'm going to match you where I feel like you at. And that may be that you only understand the masculine side. So you understand how I'm moving and not how I'm speaking. You know, men don't understand a lot of words. Keep it simple with them. So I'm going to just show you.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Sure.
I saw you shaking your head a little bit, Lotto. You agree with that full statement or no?
Look, so I guess the thing is like what she said is what I said. If he says we're not going anywhere, like immediately I would just fall back. Like, and it's not anything on you or me. It's just, well, you said we're not going anywhere. Okay. But I'm not the type of person. I believe in love. I believe in deep love. I believe in divine faded soul love. So I'm not going to be the type of person that's going to shy away from, asking somebody if, we finna get serious or not, just because they're seeing other people or I'm seeing other people, because anything can change in a second and you don't know who's for you or how people are going to react in the end, like in the long run. A lot of people that are serial daters or were serial daters are in happy marriages now, so it's not like to say that people don't change and that behavior isn't like can be learned. You can learn how to be a boyfriend. You don't have to be a serial dater your whole life.
I agree. Okay, great points. I love the contrasting perspectives. Thank you, ladies. Okay, so let me ask you this, Susie. In your opinion, can a successful relationship form from serial dating? Why or why not? Body God said it can. Body God, tell me more in the comments.
I believe that it can, because people are people, you know. You can't choose who you fall in love with. I do feel that it would take a lot of extra work, like more than just a regular relationship, because you're serial, so you have certain learned behaviors. And just because you opted that you found your soulmate you want to marry, don't mean that up because y'all got married, you're gonna stop your learned behaviors. So I feel like the engagement period may be a little bit longer, if anything, you know, because of they got to work that out and figure out how to truly mesh. But I mean, it can work and be successful as long as those participating parties are willing to do that. And that's the key word. You have to be willing. Every day it's a choice to choose the
You
other
have to wait, little girl.
So it can work. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave right there. It can work.
Okay, good answer. Lotto, you want to add to that? I think we pretty much know you think it can work. Do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, I think it can work. Mainly because I done seen it happen in real life. I know a girl. She was hot on the dating apps, on every single dating app. She had her like whole face. She had a miscarriage. She just ended like a 3-year relationship. She was going crazy for months, right? And she finally downloaded Hinge, and she lives in a predominantly white neighborhood as a biracial person. Met a white man. They went on like 2 dates. They literally looked each other in the face, said, I'm a hoe too. And they're happily, like, they've been together almost a year now. She literally just found out yesterday that she's pregnant. So, of course, I think it can work, because I know that they don't cheat on each other. I know that, like, they have stars in the eyes for each other. I've seen it. So you can't tell me that something I see, you know, I believe it. Of course it can work.
I love that. That does make me question, though. Do you think that maybe leaves the door open a little bit more than average for, like, other people to enter the relationship? Not necessarily like not like unbeknownst to their partner, right? Like they're open and honest, but maybe like more open to having like an open relationship type of situation.
Oh yeah, I think their sex life is great. I'm not gonna lie, I think they're very liberated people. You can't, I don't feel like you just transition.
They definitely was taking home shorties from the club, okay?
Like no, if you was a serial dater as a man, you was a womanizer. If you was a serial dater as a woman, you was a Tatiana. You feel me? You was dropping it and throwing it back. So I feel like being married to somebody who came from that is just gonna indulge you in that way. You know, it's gonna open y'all conversation in that area is probably real lit. They might need to write a book.
That might need to write a book.
Like, I know they've had some good times, okay? I know they've had some good times, and they're both well established. Like, they're older. These aren't people in their 20s like me. I mean, she is, but he's in his 30s. He has 3 kids. She has 2 kids. Like, you know, these aren't, like, people that are just doing whatever for whatever. These are people with purpose and intention, you know? So, I do think it can happen. She tells a story all the time. They looked each other in the face and said, I'm a hoe. Me too. Like, and now they got together real bad. So I believe in it. Absolutely.
What's up, Top Badge? 2 cents for Top Badge.
Hi guys. Look, I had to chime in before I go on my ghetto drive home where I don't get no service. So I had to go ahead and chime in. And hi ladies. Shout out to the Scoutz. Okay. This is how I feel about serial dating. I feel like, and this is what goes to my comment when I said it depends on if you're dating with a purpose. And Casper said, everybody has a purpose. You just don't know what it is.
Right.
True. But there are people who date to find someone, and then there are people who date to fill time. So it just depends on what you're doing with yourself, right? Are you dating with the purpose? Are you dating to find a husband? Are you dating to find a long-term partner? Or are you dating because, like Lotto said, you just a hoe? Like, you a hoe, you like entertaining multiple people. See, I'm dating just to, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're dating, you know, everybody has a different purpose. So if your purpose is, you know, you're going to date several people because you're trying to find a long-term partner, you're going to date differently. You're going to move differently. You're going to entertain folks differently than if you're just dating to fill your time. If you're just dating to fill your time, you're not really looking for any certain type of person with qualities, because those qualities don't really matter because they're not going to be around no way.
So do you think
see what
you
I'm
can
saying?
simultaneously date with purpose and serial date? Like, can you serial date with purpose?
And this dating
Yeah,
pool, better.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, actually, I do think that you can serial date with purpose, because sometimes, especially if you have experienced relationships and you know what you're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
once people hit you with those red flags, next. You're not as quick to entertain and look for the good in people and all that stuff. But once people start hitting you with those red flags, you know, you're on to the next. So yeah, that could be considered serial dating with a purpose, because you know what you want. And if you know if you're dating someone and they possess those qualities, then why continue to date them? What's your purpose in dating them now?
Right.
They're just around now. So yeah, that's absolutely possible. If you are looking for a certain type of relationship, you date someone who don't possess those qualities, on to the next person.
So
yeah.
Do you serial date? Would you do it? Do you feel like it's beneficial?
I do not serial date, but I really wish that I could. It's because I can't. Like, I have a hard time focusing on more than one person at a time.
Yeah.
Because honestly, whether you're dating 10 people or 20 people, you're going to have a favorite person. Like, you're going to have a favorite person.
Facts.
No matter how many people you are dating. I don't care. You're going to have someone that gets way more attention than the other ones. You're going to look, your hotline going to be blinging, and when you go to see who's blowing you up, you're going to be in your mind wishing it was this one person that you really like.
You're right.
Because you always tend to like someone more, maybe two, you might have two, but most of the time it's one person, and you're really dating other people because you don't know where it's going with this one person, and you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket because you don't want to get your feelings hurt.
Or you don't want to ask them if they feeling you like you feeling them.
Now I'm gonna ask you, because I ain't got time to waste. I'm 40. And you're not gonna play no games with me.
Left in the dark.
I know, that's right.
You're not gonna play no games with me. And another thing is, since I always assume that you are dating other people.
Right.
That's not the conversation that I feel like as grown adults we need to have. I feel like if I'm grown, you grown, I'm dating you, you probably dating other people. I feel like the conversation that needs to be had is when you think we go together. Okay? That's the conversation we need to have. Because until we have that conversation, oh, for sure, I'm going to think that you're dating other people. For sure. You're not finna set me up thinking I'm the only one and we haven't talked about being exclusive. No. Mm-mm.
No. That's hilarious. I agree. What were you going to say, Lada?
Oh, no, I'm just co-signing.
Okay.
Just being amigo. I'm just being amigo. Mama, like, yeah. 2 cents for
But I'm so happy I got to
and 2
join
cents
in
we
today,
trust.
because I normally be on these country ghetto roads and I can't never say nothing. I'll be like, I want to say something. But since I got out of work late today, I had time. I had time today.
Period.
Conversation.
I love it.
Yay.
I love it. Are you about to get out the box?
Why, you gonna ask me something else?
Before you go, I was going to ask you to tell people about your karaoke auction.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't even introduce myself. Hi, everybody. If y'all don't know, I'm 2 cents. I have karaoke each and every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's my one event that everyone normally comes to, and I stream,
So
Wednesdays,
fun.
Saturdays, and Sundays. July 30th, I'm having a karaoke auction. Ain't nobody else done it, okay? It's my
Period.
All right. It's the 10K entry fee for a chance to win an Icy Dragon. So it's the best karaoke performance. So come with your best 2-minute song snippet. I normally don't like snippets during karaoke, but this time I'll allow you to do it. You do 2 minutes, give your best performance, dress up, have fun with it for a chance to win an IG. You can hit me up on IG. It's linked to my bio, and I can get you more details if you're interested. We got 18 slots left now. No, I'm sorry, 17 slots left.
Ooh, they going.
All right.
Love it.
Thank
2 cents for Top Bash. Top Bash, 2 cents. Don't play with it.
Bye. I'll be in the comments. I'll be listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your perspective. It's always good to hear your
Yay,
perspective.
2 cents for Top Bash.
I mean,
Top Bash, 2 cents.
when I say in 2 cents we trust, like now y'all understand the 2 cents. The only 2 cents I'm trying to hear is 2 cents, 2 cents. Don't play with it, okay? Stop. All right. So I'll ask y'all one last question and then I'll let y'all do your outros and everything. But if we're serial daters, if we're serial dating in this world or whatever, what do you need to be taken out the club, taken out the trap, taken off the market, taken off the map? No, what do you need to be to cut off your other peeps? We'll start with you, Leto.
I need a literal conversation that has the exact words of me and you being exclusive, or like, you want to be my girlfriend, like we go together real bad. Like, I need the verbiage. If you didn't physically tell me out your mouth or out your little fingers, because you know how we are in the 21st century, I don't like. I got nothing for you. I need you to be like, straight up, we go together. Do you agree? And I have to say yes.
So you need that communication. Hello? That communication.
I need you to be real open and honest, because I feel like if we're dating, we've already done all the things, So I just feel like just say the word. Just say it. At this point, it's may the best man win. So as a serial dater, if you want to take me out the trap, be the best man, because may the best man win. Whoever asks first is getting me. That's all I gotta say.
What about you, Susie? You got any, like, what's that one thing you would need to cut other people off?
Look at Rose.
That's a very good question. To which...
Tune in next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly.
Dragon Ball Z. Will Susie B get taken off the market as a serial dater?
We'll hit the group chat and tell them it's a wrap. Hello. All right, that's awesome. Ladies, go ahead and do your outros, and then y'all can box down. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. Make sure y'all fave up my friends, y'all. Go ahead, Lotto.
I'm Madam Mulatto. Y'all can catch me everywhere the Scouts are. I'm here on Tuesdays. I'm with Casper for Geek Out on Mondays, his featured show. Thursdays is my show, Tarot Thursdays, 9 a.m. Yeah. Wind Down Juneteenth with DJ Rich Beats on Monday. Make sure y'all there. It's going to be Blackity Black AF.
Period. Go ahead, Suze.
It's me, Susie. There's really nothing further for me to say. Kalato kind of said all the things. Make sure you just hit the Scouts with the fave so that you can be there and present for all the things that we do during the week, monthly. But if you are a gamer, Xbox, PlayStation, that's your thing. You like to do tournaments, just make sure you hit me with the fave and keep an eye out, as I will be having content for my gaming bros and sis. Let's get it popping. Let's go.
Period. Thank you, Miss Susie. Rich Beats, I see you in the box. I'm going to do a quick final thought. So, pros and cons of serial dating, y'all. Serial dating can be good because it helps weed out faster. However, it can desensitize us to dating as an overall experience and allowing feelings to form. It is often a reaction to not wanting to commit and lack of emotional connection. It can be helpful as long as the high from the chase or being chased doesn't become the focus of the dating. And serial dating is not synonymous with multiple pleasure partners. Just because someone is dating multiple people doesn't mean they are sleeping with multiple people, but it also doesn't mean they aren't. So, please be safe above all. We're going to bring up DJ Rich Beach, y'all, to go ahead and take us out. This has been How to Bag a Baddie. Thank you for joining us for the 11th episode. Make sure you tune in next week as we continue to uncover how to bag a baddie. And make sure y'all get with us on YouTube, because now we're posting all the episodes, so playback is available on YouTube, linked in my profile. DJ Rich Beats,